Yo, welcome back to another Pokemon Scarlet and Violet VGC video. I'm your host, Jose Rocks, and we are back. So I took a couple days off, was trying to make sure I felt better, was a little bit under the weather, and we are back. I'm still getting over, a little congestion and stuff like that. So if I sound a little congested, don't mind me, but I want to go ahead and get into some content with Regulation I. So we are currently starting Regulation I in about 2 days. It's the 29th right now. Regulation I rank ladder, as far as in-game ladder, starts May 1st. That's when you'll start to see more people like post gameplay of it, because a lot of people don't really like to play casuals, or they'll just play like Showdown or something like that, right? But the ladder officially starts on May 1st. So we're posting this pretty much I'm recording on the 29th. I probably post it on the 30th. So that's probably when you guys will see it. But I wanted to get into 20 archetypes, or 20 different archetypes that I want to give you guys to prepare for Regulation I, which starts in 2 days, right? These are going to be just teams that you're probably going to see most commonly. This, of course, is not all the archetypes, because there's like over like 140 different combinations or something like that. It's a random number. I don't know the exact amount, right? But these are just 20 of the main ones I feel like you'll see, or some niche ones I feel like you might run into every now and then that you should probably be prepared for. So let's go ahead and get into this list. To start our list, we have to start here with Calyrex Shadow and Zamazenta. So if you guys know this duo, you know this duo is good. If you've been practicing Regulation I, if you've been playing on Showdown or a casual ladder, you've seen this duo. You know what it can do. Zamazenta Wide Guard is very annoying for other restrictors that have spread moves like opposing Calyrex Shadow, Glacial Lance from Calyrex-Ice, Water Spout from Kyogre. Just the plethora of spread moves, Zamazenta really is good at blocking those. And same with Lunala Expanding Force. They just can't really do much into Zamazenta. And Calyrex just pairs really well with it, and they both don't have the Terra, but Terra is a really good option on both of them. So that's a really good combo that I really like to showcase. So a couple different mons that you'll see with this team. Let's just add some. Most likely you'll probably see like Incineroar. Sometimes you'll see them go for like Expanding Force teams, so you'll see Nagini, another common partner. I don't want to give away my juice because I did build a team around this, and I'm going to be posting it with one of my rental codes. And I think mine is fairly unique. It's a combo that I haven't seen used with these two, so I don't want to give it away just yet. But stay tuned for that, guys. Sometimes you'll see a Dondozo, or you'll see like a Tatsugiri. So there's a lot of different ways you can, make this combo work. And I think that it is relatively simple to use. And it's one of those duos that if you're just getting into the format and you just want to pick up something quick and just play so you can kind of get a feel of it, then these two are going to be your best two to go with. Then, with that being said, so let's get into the next one. Next one we have is Koraidon, Calyrex Shadow plus Dondozo Weezing teams. Weezing plus Koraidon was something that showed up at the Atlanta Regionals. And it's something I've been seeing all over the ladder now, right? And I think Calyrex Shadow also pairs really well with Weezing and Dondozo. We've already seen that duo do pretty well at a lot of different regionals and internationals. So them combining when they're both really good teammates, and most of the time you'll see like an ability shield here, just so you can still have your son. And then the last mod might be something like a Chi-Yu or a Fluttermane, right? I would guess Chi-Yu, because Chi-Yu can play alongside both of these. They both, Chi-Yu benefits from Koraidon. Calyrex Shadow benefits from being next to Chi-Yu, right? And I can see this core being really strong and your opponent's not having a lot of answers into it. It is like a lot of different restrictors work very well with Calyrex Shadow, and I think this is a really good core. So if you guys want, a Dondozo team to start with, and you were kind of considering Koraidon or Calyrex Shadow, this is something that you guys can give a try that I think can be really strong. Next, we have Swordfish. I want to talk about Swordfish because it was really strong. Sorry, my voice is cutting out in Sword and Shield, and I honestly feel like, oh, where did my music go? Sorry, guys. Let me cut that back on. There we go. I didn't know that cut off. I didn't realize it, but yeah. So Zacian and Kyogre have been a really good duo. Zacian really likes the rain. Turns off his fire weakness, so you really don't have to worry about ground. And Zacian plays really well in the lane. You can go for like Terra Grass, Terra Blast. You can go with Terra Ground to deal with like a lot of different things that are weak to ground. So many different combos you can do with these two, and they were really good in Sword and Shield. So I expect to see Swordfish do well in this format because they're just two good restrictors that complement each other, even though they're not considered top tier in Regulation G. I think as a duo, they're top tier. Next, we have Calyrex-I and Miraidon. This is one of probably the second most common duo I've seen outside of Zamazenta and Calyrex-Shadow. These two function really well. If you think about the things that Miraidon doesn't like to go against is ice types. Not ice types. Ground types and grass types. Because one, grass resists electric and ground is immune to electric, and that can kind of like pin your Miraidon sometimes, right? If you do go for those terrors or have those types, they do not want to see Calyrex-Ice. Calyrex-Ice, when it's hitting some super effective damage, is doing a lot of damage. No matter if it's -1, -2, it's still going to be heavily damaging things, right? So it's really fun to play alongside Miraidon, and I can see why this core can work. You can also run some things like, I don't think you can run a Trez on this team, but you definitely can run Iron Hands to give you fake out pressure. I think this is a really solid trio, and then of course you can just round this team out even if you want to do like the R Mega stuff with like Fergraph. I would say you can drop the Fergraph for Calyrex and just don't worry about the Armor Tail. Just position yourself better so you don't have to worry about fake out. Because I don't think you should double up on Calyrex and Fergraph because they're kind of redundant, and I think Whimsicott, Urshifu, and Overprime would fit this team a lot better rather than dropping one of your offensive targets for Fergraph. So, sorry, where is he? Overprime, Urshifu. So this is another quick little core you guys want to build around something. I think this can be also really solid, and I think that you can find a lot of success with this early on because you're really just replacing the Fergraph. And like I said, while you do lose that pressure to where you can be faked out, you can really like make some adjustments. You can make this like Cobra Cloak or Life Orb with Protect, so you're not as prone to like losing to fake out, right? You can have Whimsicott Encore stuff in the fake out, so they really don't want to click it, and you can also lead your own fake out, and then you can just protect with things to get around fake out. And that's really what Fergraph's there for, right? And if they want to set up Trick Room, then they got to deal with your Calyrex and Iron Hands, which is really deadly, and then you still have the Tailwind option with Whimsicott. So I can see this duo doing really well, and it's something that I might try to build around too. Next we have Terapagos and Calyrex-Shadow. Now these two are amazing together. I think that Terapagos' best partner is Calyrex-Shadow, and the reason I think that is because Terapagos is a Terra Hog. To get the most value out of it, you definitely want to go for a Terra. So when you're playing with Calyrex-Shadow, if you have something like a Focus Sash here, Focus Sash just allows, Calyrex to play a little bit more risky and not have to worry about Terra, right? Usually you're probably running like an offensive Terra just to get more of a damage boost, but you're not really using Terra defensively because you got the Focus Sash, and that way Terapagos can hold the Terra. I think this is a pretty good duo, and you can kind of round this team out any way you want. I kind of like Entei on these type of teams because Steel types can be kind of annoying for Terapagos, especially if you like the Choice Specs variant. Entei helps deal with those. I still like Iron Hands here just to give you like a Trick Room option. Iron Hands is just generally good into everything, right? And then you may have like some speed control. I would say like maybe a Tornadus to round this team out. And then the last one, I think you need. We got a good balance of this here. You could probably use another. I think Rillaboom would be redundant because you got Iron Hands. I don't really know what the fifth can be here. I would have to think really hard about it. We already got Entei, so we don't need Chiyu. You could probably do something like Flutter too, right? Because you got Trick Room options, right? With Iron Hands. You can even throw like a Fergraph on here so you can play around fake out. I think Fergraph can be kind of cool here too, right? Just so you get around like Sucker Punch on Calyrex and Stopping Priority. And with Choice Specs Terapagos, you really don't want to be faked out. So if you're gonna run Choice Specs, then you could run something like a Fergraph. So I can see this being kind of solid. This is a flexible slot. You can even put like a Chiyu here, but then you have 5 special attackers. So I think this can work. I really like Entei next to Terapagos. When I was playing with it in Regulation G, it felt really solid being able to support Terapagos. You can even have like a Choice Band on here, right? That is doubling down on a lot of choice items. So if you want to go around choice, since your choice specs here, you can go with like Life Orb. Doesn't deal as much damage, but at least you have the option to protect and switch your moves, right? So I think that these can, function pretty good together. Next we have the 2022 World's Winning Team. So these can definitely do good. So I don't think Gastrodon is going to be that good in this format, but it's yet to be seen. But we do know Incineroar is going to be good. So you may see this core. You may even see some of the players that brought this to Worlds run this core back. The whole core is in the game that won Worlds, right? The other one's Thundurus. Thundurus is most likely going to be a support set. So I would say, like, you can support with like speed control, like Thunder Wave, and then having like Rain Dance, so Zacian doesn't, have to deal with, fire type attacks and stuff like that. And it can be solid. Like, I mean, this is the team that won Worlds in 2022. Of course, that was a Defiant Thundurus, and it had Dynamax Max Airstream, so that you had speed control on here, and you kind of against Trick Room teams, you would kind of like play like, essentially Gastrodon and Incineroar Zacian core. Sometimes with Rillaboom, you may drop the Calyrex Shadow, or you may just drop the Rillaboom for Calyrex Shadow, and then just run these two in your Trick Room, and then play these two outside of Trick Room. So it's a lot of flexibility with this team, and it won Worlds for a reason. So I can see it being good. I just don't see it being great, but because the Thundurus plays a different role, and it's not that physical attacker that you're used to, right? But I can still see it being decent. Like, these are still two powerful restricteds. Calyrex Shadow is still one of the best restricteds in the game, and I think Zacian is going to benefit from Regulation I. Next, we have the 2019 World's Winning Team. Now, this full team is not in game. I think it's missing like Mega Salamence and stuff like that. And I can't remember what else was on that team, but these two, they won Worlds in 2019. So I think that in a double restricted format, they can come back and be good. Lunala's already shown that it can hang in Regulation G, and I expect that to keep going in Regulation I. It is a Terra Hog though, because you don't want to get just one shot by like a stray Ghost or Dark type attack. And that's fine, because Groudon, while it likes to Terra in the fire, it's not necessarily a Terra Hog because it's pure ground. So if you get it in the right situation, it's not easy to just one shot Groudon, right? Because it's so bulky, naturally bulky, right? Then you slap like an Assault Vest onto it, then it's just very hard to KO this mon. So it doesn't necessarily need Terra, but I think that these two can be good. I don't know how you would build around them yet. It's yet to be seen, because the full team is not in game, right? If you guys can remember the full team, comment it down below. But I do know I looked at it a couple weeks ago, and the full team wasn't in game. But I do know it's Mega Salamence, and you probably don't want to be using regular Salamence, but we'll see how that goes. Of course, we can't stop that without leaving Wolfy's team out. Now, Wolfy's team is actually in game, so if you guys do want to use it, it's going to be bad, right? Because the test of time, the mons that are on this team just can't keep up with the current power level. Rayquaza is also kind of outclassed in this format, but Kyogre is one of the best Pokemon in this format, right? So you still have a strong core with that. Hitmontop, it is outclassed by Incineroar, and Incineroar wasn't in the game when this team won Worlds, right? Otherwise, it would have been Incineroar in this slot. But it does get Wide Guard, which is very valuable in this format, so that's one thing to note. And Fake Out is always going to be good. And then you also get like some neat techs like Feint. But this is going to be for the real Wolfy fans, right? The super Wolfy fans, and then you probably would go like Close Combat, right? This is for the super Wolfy fans. If you really want to tech it out, you can drop Close Combat for like Sucker Punch, so that you can surprise KO Calyrex Shadow. And I would probably go with like Terapagos or something, right? I don't think you run Focus Sash on it. I don't think you can run a Jet Button like Wolfy did, but maybe like Rocky Helmet is a good item for it, because I know that you run Raichu, and I think Rayquaza, unless you run Choice Band, but you could run Choice Band Rayquaza. I was thinking Focus Sash Rayquaza, but you probably want the Focus Sash on Raichu, right? I don't think Assault Vest is going to work in this format like how Wolfy ran, because the power level is just too high. So I do think that you need Choice Band on this. I think that Kyogre probably needs to be Choice Scarf to get the most value out of it for this team, because you're just going to be getting outsped because you don't have real good speed control. I don't know what you would run with Bronzong, and then the last one is there's no Mega Gengar, but there is regular Gengar. And honestly, you probably can run Focus Sash on this too. Like, so many of these mons really want the Focus Sash, and I think Choice Specs Kyogre is the best one, so you can't put a Choice Scarf on the Gengar, right? So that's one thing to note. But this team, like I said, You can play with it if you're a real Wolfy fan, but you're not gonna find a lot of success with it. But you can have a lot of fun with it. It's gonna feel fun to get some wins with it when you do play with it. All right. Next we have Calyrex-I and Kyogre. This is one of my favorite duos. I've been advocating for this since the Atlanta Regionals. When I was at the Atlanta Regionals, so I got to meet a lot of people and talk to a lot of different players there. And I was telling them about how good this duo is. So I do have a team coming out with this when I drop my runner codes for the month. So stay tuned for that if you guys are interested. We're gonna have a lot of fun playing with this team because I built a really strong core around it. So I don't want to speak too much on it, but Calyrex Ice does like to play in the rain. So I do think that this duo can be really strong, and there's a lot of different ways that you can play this duo, a lot of different sets that you can run with Kyogre to make this team work. So I'm interested to see how many more people discover this, secret sauce, if it is secret. But I do think that they complement each other very well, and they don't kind of like headbutt each other on the team. All right, now we have Rain Room. So you have Sun Room and Sword and Shield. I think Rain Room is gonna be interesting. Hatterene plus Calyrex Shadow with fast expanding force and slow expanding force, I think can be really fun. Then you got Kyogre for the rain. I think it fits very well alongside these two. Kyogre likes to just nuke things on the field. And then of course you got the Choice Scarf Urshifu that you can play next to the Tornadus. So this team could be pretty threatening. I already had, pretty much put it together because I felt like it was a really good core. And even the Terra fighting on this feels really solid. I was practicing with a team like this and I was like 6-0 before, I took a loss. So I did go like 6-1. As soon as I took a loss, I just wanted to just see how far I could get with it without losing. And then I switched to something else, right? So I just wanted to test it out. But this team was really fun. I am interested to see if I'm gonna actually, build a real team around it and optimize it. But I do think that this is a strong core, and I'm interested to see what you guys think about it. Next we have the Double Dogs. Double Dogs can be interesting in this format. I don't think it's that good. But people are gonna try it. People always wanted to play Zamazenta and Zacian, and they tried it in Sword and Shield, and it didn't work. So I'm interested to see if it will work in this format. But I don't think it's that good, but that's yet to be seen. This is also one of the best ways to run Rayquaza plus Calyrex Shadow. I do think that Rayquaza forces a lot of Ghost Terrors because it threatens like massive damage with Choice Band and E-Speed, and I think that Calyrex Shadow can capitalize off all of those Ghost Terrors, right? So that's another interesting thing. Next we have Miraidon plus Kyogre. Miraidon plus Kyogre is a really unique duo. I don't think they complement each other too well, but I do think that they can have some type of niche in the format. I haven't tried it out myself, but a lot of people are just thinking, just go Water Spout, Choice Scarf, Choice Specs, Miraidon. There's no switch ins, you just clear the board, right? It's never that simple, but I can see why people think that it could work. So I'm interested to see how many people try to pull that off. Next we have Ho-Oh plus, I didn't skip any, did I? No, I didn't skip any. We have Ho-Oh plus Koraidon. So Ho-Oh plus Koraidon is also very interesting. Ho-Oh really likes to play in the sun, and I think Koraidon setting it up can be really good. Now this team is really weak to Intimidate, but if you do run a clear element on one of them and like a life orb on the other, I think you will be fine. Especially if you have something like a Defiant user, like a Choice Scarf Annihilate or something like that on this team, or Okidogi to deter any Incineroar. I think you can have a lot of fun with these teams. I do think Okidogi could be a good fit for these. So that's, you are doubling up on the fighting types, but I think it's fine because it's poison. And I think it can be an interesting core to play with. Next we have, this is another team that I feel like I kind of built out that I want to test out, but it's Koraidon plus Zacian, and then of course you have Double Fire and Entei and Incineroar, and then you have the Grimmsnarl and Tinglu. So this is kind of like Bring Your Sun for me. So instead of the Groudon, we got Koraidon, right? We got Zacian there, we got Incineroar and Grimmsnarl, and instead of like the Gastrodon, we have the Tinglu there, which I feel like is a good pick for this format. And instead of the Charizard, we have the Entei. Now you could put a Chi-Yu here, which is a special attacker just like Charizard, but I feel like Entei could also fit on this team. But like I said, this actually is already all physical. So if you want, you can really just sub out Entei for Chi-Yu, and then you have like another variant of the powerful Ring and Sun team that was taking, names and got second place at the 2022 World Championship. But I think this can be a really fun team, and it's just my version of remix of Ring and Sun. And I may bring this team into game and post a winner code for Next we have Miraidon plus Lunala, another team that I built out. It's pretty much our Mega Miraidon, and instead of the Ferrograph we have Lunala. It's the same concept to using Calyrex Ice, but you're just playing with Lunala instead, which is a special attacker and offers wide guard, which can make this team pretty nasty if it has wide guard. So of course we're swapping out the Ferrograph, and I think that this can be pretty solid too. Next we have Terapagos Koraidon. Now, I picked this because I've seen this so much on the ladder, and I don't see why it works, but I see a lot of people playing with it. So I just wanted to put it on this list so you can be prepared for it. Koraidon really does like to Terra. Flutter Mane is going to be pretty common in this format, and being able to just get one shot by an opposing Flutter Mane is not good, so you have to Terra. But when you're Terraing Koraidon, then Terapagos can't Terra, so it feels a lot worse. So people are trying this, but I haven't figured out how to make it work yet. But it's just something I just wanted to take note of. Next we have Palkia and Kyogre. I think these can be interesting. I think you won't see too many different Palkia teams, but the ones you may see may be with Calyrex Ice, because they're a good Trick Room duo, and also you may see this Choice Specs type with Kyogre, which can be really strong and is also dealing massive amounts of damage when you're using Choice Specs, Terra Water, Hydro Pump in the rain. Like, unless you got Gastrodon, there's literally no switch-ins for that, right? This is a base 150. Like, this is doing a lot of damage. So I think that's a really cool strategy to try out. Next we have Double Sun. So I think that this can be another cool core. I somewhat built it out. And it's not complete because this really loses hard to Trick Room, but I just threw some mons in here that can benefit from the sun. Of course, Raging Bolt will probably be another pick that you can go for in here, but I kind of just wanted to give it like a Fire Water Grass core. But I think this team could be fun. I think that Koraidon really likes to have the sun up, and a lot of counterplay you have is having Kyogre or just like Pelipper and Tornadus with rain. So you could, I would say, maybe run a Tornadus with Sunny Day, but you also can just run Double Sun and have Groudon help set up the sun for Koraidon if his sun gets removed. So I think these two, you'll see these two play together, and I may just give it a try just for some content. Last but not least, we have one of my favorite duos, is Zacian and Miraidon. I think these two complement each other so well. Fairy Steel plus Dragon, you have that fantasy core in two Pokemon, and they complement each other very well, right? Their physical special split, they're both very fast, they both hit really hard, they both force a lot of terrors, which allow the other Pokemon to deal more damage, especially against opposing like Miraidon teams. Miraidon usually, like a Terra Fairy, you're gonna force out Terra Fairy from the opposing Miraidon, and then Zacian just threatens it with a Behemoth Blade and outspeed it, right? So they complement each other really well, and I think it's a really cool core, and I think it's honestly my favorite core in regulation, maybe second. It depends. Zacian is my favorite restricted outside of your Veltal, which is not in the game. So Zacian is right now. So I would say Zacian and Miraidon is my favorite core right now, and Calyrex Ice plus Kyogre might be number 2. So these are both very interesting cores, and I can't wait to showcase them on my channel. But that's going to be it for this video of 20 teams to prepare for. Hope you guys like it. If you do like this type of content, go ahead and subscribe for me and turn on those post notifications. And let me know in the comment below what you guys think. And if there's any teams that maybe comment that you think I missed, go ahead and comment them down below. But that's going to be it for this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Stay tuned. More new videos soon. Deuces.